Hello and welcome to a reading of Thriving in the Vine, presented by St. Elizabeth Episcopal Church in Richmond Hill, Georgia. Thriving in the Vine is a collection of reflections, daily Lenten reflections, from members of the Episcopal Diocese of Georgia. My name is Dwayne Varus. I'm rector here at St. Elizabeth Preschool and Church in Richmond Hill, and I'm so happy you've come along with me for this reflection. On this Friday, March 5th, the second Friday in Lent. Our gospel is from the Gospel of John, chapter 5, and our reflection is from the Reverend Jim Elliott of St. James in Quitman, Georgia. I had a rector in seminary who was always reminding us seminarians to ask ourselves the question, to whom or to what do you belong? And a follow-up to that question is it crystal clear to everyone you encounter and everyone who encounters you, to whom or to what you belong? To whom or to what, he would ask, does everything about you point? The words which come across your lips, where you rest your eyes, the works of your hands, where your feet take you, and where your heart leads you. This gospel today is about the authority of Jesus. The authority of Jesus is revealed in the works he was sent to complete. His origin, his authorship is really in God the Father, creator of heaven and earth. I can do nothing on my own. As I hear, I judge, and my judgment is just, because I seek to do not my own will, but the will of him who sent me. If I testify about myself, my testimony is not true. There is another who testifies on my behalf, and I know that his testimony to me is true. You sent messengers to John, and he testified to the truth. Not that I accept such human testimony, but I say these things so that you may be saved. He was a burning and shining lamp, and you were willing to rejoice for a while in his light. But I have a testimony greater than John's, the works that the Father has given me to complete. The very works that I am doing testify on my behalf that the Father has sent me. And the Father who sent me has himself testified on my behalf. You have never heard his voice or seen his form, and you do not have his word abiding in you, because you do not believe him whom he has sent. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Father Elliott begins his reflection. The older I get, the more quickly each of the seasons of our liturgical year seem to roll around each year. And somehow that's especially true for Lent. But it's not for the reason you might think. When I was younger, I recall anticipating and experiencing Lent with something of a sense of foreboding. I used to experience Lent as a time when the church seemed to be telling me that we were broken and we needed to be fixed or repair ourselves or else. But somewhere along the way, my parish priest helped me to see and experience Lent as the gift and the blessing that it really should be. Lent calls us to prayer and penitence. Lent offers us an opportunity to put the world and all of its distractions on a shelf and to work on what really matters. our relationship with God. And the lessons for today point us in that direction. The reading from Jeremiah recalls for us the estrangement of the people of Jerusalem from their God. The prophets speak of the absence of justice or truth and talks of the destruction of Israel as the consequence of their having turned their collective backs on God. And they were reminded that their failure to return to God will cost them their lives. Likewise, Paul's letter to the Romans reminds us that all of us have turned away from God. All of us are subject to the power of sin. But God is faithful and calls us to return and to put our faith not in the rules, but in God. And John's gospel lesson gives us a glimpse of what lies ahead for Jesus and for us. Jesus testifies to his enemies, and he reminds them that the baptizer was the lamp who testified to the light. John points us to the trial of Jesus during Holy Week, and therefore points us to crucifixion, death, and resurrection. And that recalls for us that it is through the crucifixion, death, and resurrection of Jesus that each of us finds our very lives. So on this second Friday in Lent, I am thankful for the gift and blessing of this Holy Lent. For in it we are reminded and blessed to know that God is gracious to all of us who have gone astray, and brings us again with penitent hearts and steadfast faith to embrace and hold fast the unchangeable truth of the Word made flesh. Thanks be to God. Amen. Have a beautiful and blessed day.